Guys, welcome to the video. This is going to be about Star Wars Outlaws in 2025. After a number of updates, a DLC with another planned DLC, is it worth your time? Is it worth your money? Coming from a Star Wars fan, as you can probably see over my shoulder, this is a difficult one, but I'll give my honest review, give good points, bad points, and I guess you guys can decide for yourself. Now, I bought this game upon release, like day one, because despite the skepticism around it, I was excited to just play an open world Star Wars game. Yes, it's Ubisoft. I just thought I'm probably going to enjoy it. So I bought it. I have only just... When did it come out? I don't know when it came out. A while. After about 65 hours, I think I've put in, I've only just seen the credits roll. Let's face it, isn't good. I took a break from it. I found I started playing it, I was enjoying it, kind of seeing and understanding some of the things people were saying on the internet about it, the bad, but ultimately enjoying it. Just enjoying the traversal, the world, until I wasn't. And I felt I was just dragging myself through it. I felt like, oh, I need to finish Star Wars. I'll play it again this evening. But didn't really want to. Was just jumping on, you know? Until I really didn't want to. I was like, I literally do not want to play this game anymore. Like, I'm bored. So I took a break, thought, oh, I'll have a week off, play, some other games and come back. And I think I didn't play it for 2 months. At that point, I'd forgotten the story. That's its own thing. The story, for me, is very forgettable. The protagonist, I didn't really relate to. She's that kind of... She's a very rebel teen, kind of gonna do what I want, and it's just essentially the game is about just pulling off a single heist, and building a very small team. There's no very high bits. There's no bits I can remember and think, oh yeah, that bit was good. It's just kind of a story. And so many of the levels I found I was in an Imperial base or something, and she would have no idea as a character where the hell she was going. Yet I was always just going somewhere through sometimes tediously long tunnels. Climb this ladder, traverse through this tunnel, drop down, wind your way through some more narrow bits, and there's no way... It sounds like a small thing, but you're just, it's not an open level. It's very linear, and you're just going through it. There's no guidance because it's linear, and you're like, well, why am I just running through all this? Why am I doing this? And then there'll be a bit of combat. There'll be a bit of this, some stealth, and yeah. But it's not all doom and gloom, I have put 60 plus hours in, regardless of how I felt about it, for a reason. Now, if you're a Star Wars fan, there is joy to be found here. It's the open world is beautiful. It's very well realized. It's alive. It's, when you go to the town areas, it's full of conversation, characters, people you can talk to, things you can interact with. Like, the world, I think you can get lost in. I think it's there. The foundation is there. And obviously you can go into space, you fly around in your ship, and that is some of the most stunning parts of the game, is in space. I think they did a really good job with the atmosphere and looking down on the planets and the debris and stuff. So the way you engage with the world in terms of accepting side content is done really well. You know, you overhear conversations that point you in the direction of some hidden loot or a cache, or or you'll read a data disk, and it'll give information on something coming up. And it's not just go to a person who will give you a mission, you go and do it. It feels very organic. It feels like you're just part of the world, picking things up. But the downside of that is, like all Ubisoft games, like most RPGs, your quest log, whatever you want to call it, gets full. It gets chock-a-block with stuff, and I don't think the menu system, it just is so boggy. Like, there's so many drop-down stuff, and before you know it, you've got multiple things drop down. I think in one of the latest patches, I did notice a difference when I came back. It wasn't so bad. I think they did made some changes, but yeah, you've got a lot of, before you know it, yeah, you just got a ton of quests, and a lot of them give you a brief description of an area or a visual part of the world that you essentially need to go and find. And I did like that, but also you could spend a ridiculous amount of time doing it. Like, it will give you, like, a northwest of this kind of shaped rock, and the maps are pretty big, and you're like, before you know it, rubbish little side quest that doesn't give you much just took an hour. Maybe that's where my 60 hours went, I don't know. Actual traversing of the world is fun. Obviously, you have your speeder bike. It's fun to ride. You can customize it. Yeah, I did enjoy flight. Some of the maps, like I think it's Akiva. It's a very narrow, windy world. The map, and the speeder felt too fast. Like Tatooine, which is huge open plains, felt slow, and then you got Akiva where you were just flying off the hinge. I was just gone. I was just in the bushes sometimes, like, damn. But yeah, no, the bike's fun. The traversal of the open world is there, and I enjoyed it. So when you're in missions, the bulk of your time is again just funneling your way through a map, a level, or the combat, as in gunplay. Wasn't a super fan of the gunplay. I think it felt to me like Mass Effect 1, the original, where you can get behind cover, but it's not like a button you push like Gears of War, where you latch onto it and you're behind cover and you're safe. It's like you just duck behind it, and you're a bit floaty. She'll just start trying to like climb over it because you're holding forward or doing something, like, or you're trying to shoot over it and she's just shooting the top of the cover because you're not locked behind cover, you're just ducking behind a wall. You only have one gun. You can change like a setting on it which fires 3 different types. You can pick up guns, and up until like a recent patch, you'd climb a ladder and you'd have to drop the gun you picked up. It was like shocking. You could hold onto a gun for like 10 seconds before you had to continue through the level and be forced to put it down. It was like ridiculous. But yeah, you have one pistol. It does get boring to shoot. Yeah, overall the gunplay, which makes up a bulk of playing this game, wasn't the best. You don't finish a firefight and think, that was good. It's just more something. The other side, obviously, is stealth. I think it was the thing it was probably most criticized for was the stealth. Yeah, it's not great. The AI, the enemies, just even you stealth kill somebody from behind. It's just rubbish. You just clunk them on the head and they're like, or like the AI might find you and you'll just run into a bush right in front of them and they're like, oh. They did an update supposedly really addressing a lot of the AI and the stealth, and there were missions where it was really forced stealth, and basically if you were rubbish at stealth, there was no other way. You couldn't go guns blazing. You would just insta fail. They changed some of that. So there is more ways you can go about the levels, but yeah. Already, you know what I'm saying? The story, meh. Combat, meh. Stealth, meh. World, good. Visually good. Well, mostly the world. There's faces and yeah. Not so much. Even discussing all this, and I'm done with it, and I'm glad to be done with it. And as a Star Wars fan, I don't think I could recommend a friend like, yeah, yo, go play it. Or, you know, I'll lend it you. I don't even think I would say it. I would say, if I knew what I knew now, and I could go back, I would have put them 60 hours into something else. I would have played something else. So ultimately, I think the sales and etc., the criticism is right. It's genuine. I think it is a game you can pass on. I think it is. I think it's got a lot of your typical Ubisoft bloat. The gameplay doesn't hit. The story, you know, even if you're one of those people that buy these big games and just beeline the story, I don't even think you're not even gonna have a great time just doing that. Like, it's not the worst story, but it's just okay. It's just for a long game, it's okay. So yeah, 2025. If you haven't bought it yet, don't. Or do. You might. Everyone's different. Some people really enjoyed it. You know, this is just my opinion. Disappointed I was. If you want to play, if you're itching to play a Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor, man. Or Jedi Fallen Order, yeah, if you haven't even played that. They are good games. Truly good Star Wars games that basically get everything I've said this game doesn't right. So yeah, go play that. If you made it this far, if you enjoyed the video, this is my first ever YouTube video. So please give it a like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.